think you just have to lean forward, man.
I don't want to have to lean forward like this. Because that's bullshit.
You gotta lock. You don't want this podcast to work. You gotta lock the fuck in, okay, Snarf?
I usually podcast from back there. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the podcast. This is episode 5 of the Snarf Consortium podcast. I'm your host, as always, Snarf, also going by Peter in some places. And we have a guest on the couch with me today, XMAS. How you doing, man?
That's me. I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Straight up vibing, man.
Yeah.
I got to show my buddy his gonna soon to be favorite Zelda game today, so I'm riding that high a little bit.
We were just leading up to this, doing a failed recording for the last little bit of Peace Walker. We finally finished that off, and we're in chapter 5 of that. Just to realize that 2.5 hour recording never happened on OBS because it decided to just shit the bag.
They couldn't handle the legend of Big Boss.
It was so dumb. And then we recorded, about an hour and a half, 2 hours of Wind Waker?
About 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, about 2 hours of that. So, top of the show, I just, go over my week. But since you're the guest here, I'll ask you how you've been doing your last week. What have you been playing? What have you been watching?
I caught up with the latest update in Genshin Impact, version Luna 4, which was pretty fun.
Okay.
It was a good wrap up to that story. I think they did a pretty good job, even if it was a little weirdly spotty in places before that. But they managed to nail the finale for this version of the main story for Genshin Impact. So kudos on them. What else? I was still dipping my toes a bit in messing around in Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, really? You're going into that?
Yeah, I bought it on sale like ages ago, but obviously just and I'm trying to play it sometimes when I'm just like a one-up game to play and playing it, and it's still buggy in a lot of places, but I do like the 2.0 update they did ages ago for the newest Liberty patch or whatever it was called.
Phantom Liberty. I do like the 2.0 version of the stuff because I'm trying to like level up my things, and I found a samurai sword and kept refining my my talents, going into reflexes and stuff like that. Are you going gun, or what is your choice of cyberware? Are you going Sandevistan? Are you going Mantis Claws? Are you going Monowire?
I don't know what any of that is because I just started the game.
All right.
I'm past the prologue.
I should ask,
I'm doing whatever.
How far are you?
I'm past the prologue.
Has a titular character been zeroed? Or what is the term that they use in Cyberpunk? How is Johnny doing?
Jackie? Or no, Johnny?
Both.
Oh, yeah, Johnny's
Both.
there.
I was going to go into Jackie after Johnny.
No, Johnny's there. He's chill. He's hanging out with me and all that stuff.
So Jackie's still there?
Jackie's no. I'm past the prologue.
Okay. So Jackie.
I'm just trying to figure out what to do. So I've just been dabbling everywhere. I found a samurai sword. I leveled up my reflexes enough because I was like, oh, I leveled up cool to be better at samurai swords. And it was like, I looked in the reflex tab and it was like, no, level up your reflex tab and you can get deflect bullets.
Oh yeah.
I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
And then it was like, I picked up that, and then it was like also just like, if you lift your block thing as you're getting shot at, you could do a perfect parry, which will do a critical hit from deflecting the bullet. And I was like,
yeah,
I can already tell this game's going to be a lot easier now, or a lot more fun.
I played it a while before the 2.0 patch, and I ran into a glitch where it made it unplayable for me. Is that it would not, no matter how many times I reloaded or went back to an old save or anything, there was a vibration effect going on in the controller constantly. And I played for like multiple hours. So it was just super annoying. But during that build, I made my V so goddamn good with swords. I went into a boss fight against this other guy that is supposed to be like, oh, I am a sword master ninja guy. And I think I 3-hit him. Like, I skipped multiple phases of this big boss fight just because I had found an amazing samurai sword like you. I perfect parried him and then just cut him up, and he just died on the spot.
Wow.
It went by so fast that the guy talking in my ear was still saying, he's like, "You need to be careful, V, about this guy. He is an expert ninja." And then he finally finishes his thing. As I'm standing over this dead guy's corpse, he's like, "It was a fearsome battle, I know. You're lucky to get out alive." I'm like, "Motherfucker,
Are you sure about that?
are you sure about that?"
Yeah, no, right now I found a revolver. I have a samurai sword, and then I just helped out Pan Am with some stuff out there in the desert. So
So you're doing some Pan Am stuff, the introductory stuff.
She gave me her sniper rifle, so now I have that. But like every time she was like, "Oh, let's get into this thing. Let's try to be sneaky or whatever," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I'm like magnuming, and I'm just like, because we were playing Metal Gear Solid, so I was just like choking out people and knocking them out and all that jazz. But then after a while, it just became to the point where it was just like, all right, let me just go around this corner. I think I'm good. Rink! And I was like, shink! Never mind.
So I would say that Cyberpunk does stealth really well if you don't choose a combat heavy build. If you're choosing more cyberware,
It's more like Watch Dogs at that point.
yeah, no, stealth in Cyberpunk definitely relies on you hacking into people's brains and going that way for stealth. Not saying you can't do the other stealth. There are reflex stealth stuff, but that's meant more for like daggers. If you have a sword, I mean, it's just, I'm going to walk up slowly towards you as you unload everything you have at me. And unless it's a goddamn rocket launcher, I'm going to deflect everything about that. It's awesome. It is a total power trip, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's still buggy in all manner of places all over the internet. Like, there's a couple times where it's like I found one of those cars that you can just find lying around, and I have that in my garage. And I was trying to go around and do some stuff. I was like, oh, let's go do this quest. Let's go do this quest or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's like 5 kilometers that way. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's an auto drive function. So I could turn on the cinematic camera.
Oh, no.
And then it's like, oh, there's traffic happening.
Yeah.
So the car just goes, I see it driving. And I see it's driving, and there's like 7 people waiting at a red light, and the car is not slowing down. I was like,
Nope.
what are you doing?
Nope.
What are you doing, auto drive?
It's like,
And then it goes bump, and it goes collision detected, turning off auto drive. And I'm like,
that is the future that Elon Musk wants us to have with self-driving cars. It's a terrible future. But Cyberpunk kind of says, like, yeah, it's a terrible future all around.
yeah, apparently I didn't grab it, but Googling a few things when I was trying to do a couple of quests, somebody did say online that like there's actually just a mod that makes the auto drive work correctly. And I was like, of course there is.
There is a mod that actually implements flying cars, and it's really cool. It bugs the fuck out of your game, and it breaks so many things. But I was like, it's really cool that I can just hop in a car and just be Back to the Future or Fifth Element, just or Star Wars, just fly through the skies of the town. It is not built for that at all.
No, it is not.
How have the side quests been? Have you been doing many side quests that caught your eye?
I've done a couple of side quests because like I was just doing the main story stuff, and then I just kept getting bodied.
Have you met Prison Jesus?
No.
Okay. There are so many good side quests in Cyberpunk.
I mean, I played the Witcher game, so I know it's side quests too. So
the side quests I think there are some side quests that are just like completely forgettable, but then there are others that are just absolute gems. I will say there is a bit of a problem I find in some of the side quests where the most interesting thing that they can say, they're intentionally not doing it because they don't want to take a stance or anything on that, or they don't really want to be like, well, that's a topic that we're talking about, but we're not actually going to talk about it. We're just going to broach it and then let you infer the rest. It's like, that's kind of a lame way to go on to these subjects.
yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's been all right. It hasn't really gripped me 100% yet. There's been a couple times where like I had a good mission run going, or it was a back and forth, which I kind of like when you're doing when you're playing a game where it's not so one-sided. But like it hasn't really gripped me because I've seen that intro prologue thing like too many times to count. So it's like I'm just trying to help out, Takamura and all that other jazz, and do this and that. I'm like, I'm just trying to play around. And I'm like, oh, this is all right. It's like it's like a vibe doing what I'm doing right now with the side quests and just driving around. It's like it starts raining and
it is probably the best non-Bethesda open world game there is. Like Bethesda has a corner on that market with Oblivion, Fallout, Skyrim, and I think Cyberpunk is like
and Starfield or Star.
We don't talk about that one. They don't have an open market on that one. But I would think that people thought that was going to be what the Outer Worlds was, and when it wasn't that, they're like, oh, this is kind of let down. I think Cyberpunk 2077 is one of those where it's like, no, this is that kind of game, and you're going to really enjoy it. And I think it's paying off finally after its horrible release 6 years ago.
Horrible, absolutely abysmal.
I bought it on release. It was fucking horrible.
I bought the collector's edition because I love Witcher 3 so much. I still have all the items from the collector's edition somewhere in that storage unit that I have all my stuff in.
Yeah.
I do not have the game because I gave the game back.
Yeah, Witcher 3 was pretty bad on launch too. I didn't start Witcher 3 on launch. I started Witcher 3 a year after, and it was exceptionally more polished. And it's only become even more polished. And Cyberpunk's basically the same way.
I remember playing Witcher 3 when it first came out, and it definitely was nowhere near as rough as Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk was a whole new level. People were... All right, there were not stores offering just blanket like you bought this game, we will give you your money back.
You don't have to explain anything. Just give us the game.
Like, we don't care if you've played 10 hours of it. We know it's broken. You deserve your money back.
I was like, please think of us GameStop employees that we have integrity. And it's like, well, if we're gonna give you shit when you do stuff bad, we gotta give you shit when you do stuff good. So fair enough, GameStop. Thank you for full refunding that, no questions asked.
I mean, I was talking about like Sony.
Yeah, Sony, sure, but GameStop was the same way.
GameStop will gladly buy you the game back, and you can say what you will to get the full refund. But like an online store like Sony, just being like, no, we
just click the button.
We get this.
It's a digital purchase. Just click the button and send it back. Yeah, no, I remember hearing about that too. It was funny. The only other game I had like that was that. We get it. No need to explain further. Was when I got the Wii U version of Mighty Number 9 back when it came out. A lot of versions of that game were really bad. The Wii U version was the absolute worst.
Yeah.
When I bought it and I went home to play it and I came back to GameStop the next day and I was like, I want to return this game. He just looked at it and he was like, okay, did you want to try any of the other versions or? And I was like, no, not really. I did not. I tried doing this for 10 hours. Even if this was running properly, I don't think I'd like this.
Man, my number 9 kind of like soured everyone's opinion on like the Kickstarter games of like, oh, the original creators coming back because Capcom won't let them and then the same thing was happening to Ikaruga with
Bloodstained. At least he did that right.
But like the immediate feeling after my number 9 when anyone was talking about Bloodstained, especially when they released that trailer, was like, it looks ugly as sin. I didn't mind this art style. It does look better with the new art style, but the old art style, I wasn't one of those haters online saying it's like, oh, it's ugly as shit, it's gonna be terrible, to the point where they fixed it. And they did fix it, but
they definitely cleaned it up.
The release of Bloodstained was like, this is the dichotomy that we will always see, in that yes, you cannot trust anyone that just because of who they were, they're going to make the good game again. Or you can actually trust that person to make a good game again.
You find out the measure of who somebody is.
Yeah.
Depending on when they do shit like that. And from what I was looking at, a couple things about Keiji Inafune, he definitely tried, but because it was such a new concept, like they blasted through so many of those goals and stuff like that, where they're like, oh, we got to release a version for every single console known to man now. Yeah. And then they were not even done with that. And then they started being like, well, if we're getting this much money for this thing, we'll have something interesting elsewhere on a side tangent thing. And we'll do a not sequel to Mega Man Legends 3 or whatever. And then that was going, and then that didn't go fucking anywhere because he was just doing too much.
Yeah.
Too many versions, too many everything. Maybe it could have been good if he actually just hyper-focused on making a couple of versions of Mighty Number 9. Whatever. But Yeah, no, I'm glad there's still people out there that are still using the Kickstarter thing for their own effect. Like Igarashi, they're doing Bloodstained 2 finally.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
That was the funniest thing because I saw that and I was like, oh, this is Bloodstained. But then as it went on, I'm like, oh, this could be Konami actually coming back to Castlevania. Are we going to get another? Because I would love Konami to do a 2D Castlevania again. But then as the trailer went on, I was like, this doesn't look like Bloodstained until it does. And as soon as they said Bloodstained 2, I'm like, this makes complete sense. He's actually just saying,
Bloodstained
I will
was
make
a
a castle. As much as he did that with the original Bloodstained, he's doubling down on that, if that was even possible, saying, fine, I'll make a Castlevania again. And it's wonderful.
It's just one of those things where it's like, it was a success. Not like a earth-shattering, record-smashing success, but it was a success. Obviously, he's going to make another game. That's why Yacht Club took forever and a half to finish up dealing with making Shovel Knight packs and stuff like that, because I think they are making the next game now.
Yeah.
It was that rat game, right?
Yeah, I'm still convinced that there's still going to be news in like a month or two. It's like, Shovel Knight's coming to this. Shovel Knight's coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons for some reason. It's like, sure, I don't care.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Mighty Number 9 on the Wii U was the last other game that was just absolutely dog. That I was just like, I brought it into this. I brought it into the store, and they said no need to explain. We get it.
Yeah.
We'll take it back.
Real good stuff.
But Cyberpunk, it hasn't gripped me yet. It only grips me. Like I said before, it only grips me in those times where I'm like, I'm just done with whatever I had to do for today. I got an hour or two before I feel like I should be trying to go to sleep. And I fire it up, and I'm driving around and just going through the weather or out in the outer reaches, or let's just do this and that. And I'm straight up vibing.
Yeah.
I'm straight up just relaxing.
The main story is, unfortunately, I think one of the weaker parts of, and it's a decent main
Until
story.
Liberty Rush or whatever it's called. Phantom Rush or something.
Phantom Liberty.
Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
Apparently that one's
when you get
great.
further into the story, it does have some, but I mean, I'm talking like 6 hours in.
Yeah.
Like 10 hours in. That's when the main story is like, oh, finally we're seeing some stuff. But it's a little standoffish for those first few hours. But if you're vibing, then hey, that's honestly the best way to do it.
Yeah, I was just straight vibing. I had a near 180 opinion turn on Mario Kart World the other day when my friend was in town because he loves playing Mario Kart. Because he was handling a bunch of life stuff and whatnot. Like, we were playing stuff online, but eventually he's like, oh, I got to handle this thing. But he's like, keep the console warm. I'll be back in a sec. So he walks off to go talk to some people or whatever. So I'm straight, and they're like, okay, so I'm just here to play some Mario Kart or whatever, but I don't want to play online with some randos or whatever, so I'm just going to do the free roam mode. And as I was sitting there doing the free roam mode, for what he said, it was going to be 10 minutes, and it turned into be an hour.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, I'm so sorry I've been playing this entire time. And I was like, usually when I play Mario Kart, definitely versus other people, I'm stressed out and yelling at the screen. If I'm just driving around this open world, I completely change my mind. This is a straight vibe.
Yeah.
The music, the fact, and I put the soundtrack on my freaking playlist. I just realized that they were like, oh, here's some new tracks, or whatever, but here's a bunch of Mario tracks. I am a guy who listens to video game music. So here's my opinion. They actually just took every single Mario track that they wanted to grab from wherever, but they didn't grab it and then throw it in the game. They remade them. They remixed every single song because they just had an option that were like, oh, you can finally turn the volume up. And I was like, turn the volume up. I want to hear these songs that I could barely fucking hear when I'm trying to drive the thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to it, and I was like, I know all of these songs. I played every single Mario game. And I'm listening to it, I was like, was this like a third of the budget of the game? Was you remaking unnecessarily like 120 songs?
Yeah.
They're great, but like, I was like, these are really great remixes of these fucking classic ass Mario songs. None of them have just been the song put into Mario Kart World. I was like, it's just a vibe. But other than that, I've been splashing around in Fire Emblem Path of Radiance because they just put that on the Switch 2 GameCube emulator.
Okay.
I was like, my friend was like, oh man, you love that game? And I was like, yeah, back in the day, but whatever. But since I didn't have any money to get anything new, I was like, let's fire it up. played through a couple missions, get that good nostalgia feels. I'm on mission 17 now. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I really forgot how much I love both the Tellius series is what they're called, the GameCube and the Wii game. Like, Ike is a great protagonist because a lot of the times before that, you get Fire Emblem Lords that are like timid royalty, but you got to muster the courage to save your nation being harassed by the thing. Ike's just a dude who works in a mercenary band. At the beginning of the game, like, oh, his dad's kind of mysterious. Maybe he's the forgotten king or whatever, which makes Ike royalty. He is just a dude. His dad was very important, but it was not royalty.
Yeah.
But you play as Ike, and it's really funny playing as Ike because he's just a dude. He has no royalty bloodlines in the thing, but it's really funny when you have to deal with people that know etiquette, curt, tactfulness, and royalty, and senators and all that stuff. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that crap.
Yeah.
Any of that crap whatsoever, and it's so fucking funny. Because he hears about, like, this, like, we're in this holy nation that abolished slavery, because the reason the two Tellius games are really good, because it has a lot to do with racism in that game.
Okay.
We go to the Holy Empire or whatever, like, oh, we abolished slavery, like, 10 years ago, and it's completely outlawed in this thing, and we take on this mission from the prime minister or whatever, the high priestess, to go check out this thing, and then we go beat up these thieves and figure out what's going on there. It wasn't thieves. It was an emancipation army that was trying to free some other slaves.
Ah, yes.
So we get there, and the guy was like, wait, so they set you up? And then Ike's just like, he may be just a dude, but he's not dumb. And he's like, the last mission she had us do before was to stop traders who we found out were smuggling slaves. And now this. So he grabs the Emancipation Army guy and he brings him back to the Capitol, and he just walks up to her, and she's like, so did you manage to stop those thieves? And he was like, I see the senators are not in the room, so I'm just going to say this bluntly. You think people are still doing slave things in your kingdom, and that's why you're sending me instead of your army. And she was like, ooh, the farm boy isn't as dumb as he looks. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, cool. And she's like, good. Yes. And he's like, oh, my God. But he's cool. He's cool. Like, he's really fun. I love how blunt he is, because, like, we're stuck in this holy capital thing, and it's really big, and it's, like, so big city kind of fantasy kind of thing, and our troops are used to living out in the country and hanging out with smaller, lesser kind of fantasy kingdoms. So we're hanging out here with, like, my sister or whatever, Ike's sister in the game, and she's like, we've been here for 5 days. I've already seen all the sights, all the buildings. I've been to the fancy cathedral. I've done everything. I'm so bored. Captain of the Royal Guard walks in. It's like, you guys enjoying your stay? Not even missing a beat. Ike's like, yeah, Miss was saying that she was actually extremely bored, so, and she was like, Ike, why would you do that? It's like, you just said you were bored. It's like, you don't tell the captain of the Royal Guard that. What is wrong with you? And he was like, what? I'm bored too. Like,
man, that's funny.
I was like, not all the lords are like that. Ike's like that, and the lord from the second Fire Emblem game, Alm is one of my favorite main characters in a Fire Emblem game. He's right up there. Like, it's him and Ike, because they're just like, it's cool when you're a prince. It's cool when you're chosen. It's cool when you got hero's blood in you.
But if you're just a regular dude, you're like,
doing this crap,
let's just do it.
That's inspiring.
Yeah,
because that's just anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can do that, and that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. He how the Tellius games work is that you could say it's like a mini Big Boss kind of story thing where Ike does all this crazy stuff, and the legend of the Crimean mercenary
and people start
leader, and they're just like,
stuff.
this guy's a fucking insane guy. It's cool. And the best part about it is, because they were doing a sequel, and they don't normally do a sequel to Fire Emblem games, you play as Ike and his band of guys as you're trying to solve the problem in Path of Radiance. And then when you do Radiant Dawn, the kingdom that you overthrow that was being the bad guy, you start playing as a group of freedom fighters in the Wii game, because after you beat the main kingdom, it gets occupied by the Holy Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Nation, as I just probably kind of hinted at, is not the best.
Not the best sounding.
So they kind of like treating the bad guy, treating the citizens who were not harming anybody like shit.
Yeah.
So you play as like freedom mercenaries in that thing, and you just form up another smaller army. But it's funny, like after a while, you will run into Ike and his guys, who sometimes still help out the Holy Army. I forgot what mission it was, but I was playing those guys. I'm like, yeah, I got to level 20 or level 40 with these other guys before the game ended, but now I'm over here at like level 5 and level 10 and stuff like that. I got to this one mission where it was like, we need to hold out. These people are trying to evacuate. We know these other soldiers are trying to come in and mess this things up. We got to hold them off. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea. It's like, I've heard they got some mercenaries helping them out. Nothing new when you're playing a Fire Emblem game. People will just say that just to let you know there's going to be a shit ton of people here.
Yeah.
And then when the map shows up, like, all right, here's the army from the people. We're trying to fight them off. And then it's like 5 or 6 missions later, you see him roll up and just like, and you see him with the people that you were just playing at in the game prior. And I was like, and the thing is like, hold out for like 6 turns. I'm like, avoid them. They're still level 30-ish. And they still have all the weapons that I gave them.
That is an end boss right there.
Oh my god. When it gets to the point where you can smooth it out and you join the armies, it's great. But like before that, you're just like, oh.
That is a force of nature standing right there between us.
Go away from me. It's good. It's good.
That's great.
Since there's no way I'm going to be able to play the Wii version of that game on my Switch 2, unless they're going to do some voodoo magic to be like, I know it said it was a Wii game, but in all technicalities, you're not doing Wii things on it. They could just left ball feel it and be like, here's just how you play Radiant Dawn on it. If not, I think I'm just going to emulate Radiant Dawn after I'm done with Path of Radiance. Because I'm sure I can find a good mod for it. But that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Been watching anything?
I've been watching Bob's Burgers casually.
Okay.
Watching that because I have a friend of mine that absolutely has adored it since ye old times when it first came out and whatnot. And since I have a Hulu subscription to watch whenever I'm just eating stuff, I was going through a bunch of different shows, and eventually I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I've watched a lot of this. So obviously what this shit's all about. Thankfully I skipped the first couple seasons because I remember watching those. I just finished watching the movie, and now I'm on season 13 out of 15. It's a pretty good show. It's like you watch an adult animation kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially adult animation you see on say Fox or whatever, they're definitely pushing some kind of weird agenda with families being so dysfunctional and terrible people. It's cool when you're watching an adult animation thing like that where it's like, of course you're not going to get some kind of fantasy, cartoony-ass thing, but good family dynamic, wacky-ass people in that town, for darn sure, and plots that are more understandable for just a normal person. Even in an abnormal situations that they get into that thing, you're still understanding at least some of it, which is kind of cool. But I like it. It's a good show.
Cool. Yeah, my week, I've dabbled back into Genshin Impact, having it fixed my account situation. Now I can just load up on my PlayStation, which is a lot. I just find it a lot easier. Just load up on my PlayStation instead of having to sit down on my computer, stream it over my PC or my TV from my PC. Just log on to the PlayStation, play. I think I finally realized how you're supposed to level up in that game, in that you're just grinding dungeons. There's one that I did, and I raised my adventure rank from like level 22 to like level 25 in under an hour. And this is over the last like 4 sessions that I played Genshin, my adventure rank has risen 1 level because I'm adventuring around. I'm trying to do quests, but I'm now at a point where it's like, hey, we're not really going to let you do the next story quest until you hit adventure rank like 30. Or not 30, but it's like until you hit this high adventure rank. It was like 5 adventure ranks away. It's like you can't do any more of this main quest. And I'm sure for a lot of people, they saw these other elements, but I was just being roaded through. It was like, okay, I'm just trying to get through it. And you're going into these little dungeons where it's like, hey, clear these enemies, or like 40 enemies in like 5 minutes. You have like 10 minutes, 5 minutes is like a trial thing. And it's like at the end of that, it gives you hundreds of experience. So it's like, okay, that's a good way to grind, because the only other way that I've been really getting adventure rank experience has been like opening a chest, and that gets me 5 experience.
Were you talking with the dungeon you're talking about? Do you repeat them, or you just do them once?
Repeat them.
Okay, because in the early days of Genshin, they had one-off dungeons that you could do that gave you, like, if you click on a thing, it'll tell you the rewards you would get for your first time clear.
I would be hard.
It's a dungeon.
I'd be hard pressed to say that it's a dungeon. It's literally just an empty room.
Gesundheit.
Excuse me. You load into this empty room. You go up to this key in the middle.
Okay,
and
it's a domain then.
Domain, yeah. And that's been the fastest way that I've seen to increase my adventure rank so far to what I'm allowed to be doing right now. And it's just like, okay, I guess that works. I've been trying to do some other things in the journal to raise, because it's like, oh yeah, you should do the expedition journal stuff, because that will give you some good chunks of adventure rank experience. Like you can get 1,000 adventure rank for doing this thing. It's like, okay, I'll try and do that. And then I think there's one thing that I need to do, and that requires adventure rank 25 to unlock. So I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's the first because I think 60 is the max rank. It's like the first 30 kind of go by really fast. Like it's you have, because there's so many quests that you can do, and there's so many. Every time you open up domain the first time, it'll get a lot of things. The one-off dungeons get you a lot of things.
The thing is, like
all the story quests get you a lot of things.
When I've walked up into like these under areas or domain areas, and I try and go into it, it's like, oh, this is locked until your adventure rank 30. It's like, oh, this is locked until your adventure rank 20. It's like every time I go into them, they're like, hey, this is locked because this content's way too high level for you. So just go off and do something else and then come back to this. But that was like 7 hours ago, so I forget to go back and do that. So where other people are probably, they're grinding, they're doing the correct thing. It's a little frustrating for me, just how slow of a trickle is. But I think I'm getting back into it.
Have you been getting the Oculus like Aaron, I was telling you?
And that is the next thing. I am trying to find Oculuses. I'm in the area around Mondstadt, because there's one thing that I have in the journal, and it says raise your statue rank to level 9.
That's pretty hard.
I have done everything else. So the next page of this book, I have to finish this thing. And
that part of the book, the bad part of the adventure rank book.
Yep. And you have to find all these Oculuses. I'm like, great. Is there a way I can search for this on the map? In game. No. You just have to find them out in the world.
You have to make the Oculus locator thing from the Alchemist table.
Okay, because I tried the Alchemist table, and I was just like, I'm making higher level components from lower level components. Okay, that makes sense.
I think,
but I'm like, this seems to the alchemy doing what I did. It was like the alchemy strikes me as this is late game stuff. I shouldn't be messing with this right now. I didn't realize there was another tab or something that I missed. Yeah. I was like, this is where you find the
it should be on the first tab, but back in those days you had to grind out the region reputation thing, I think is what it is. They eventually changed it over in the last 2 or 3 regions. They made the reputation thing a lot more integrated into it instead of it being its own separate thing. So next time you're in Mondstadt, loading from the waypoint, you should be next to a building, drop down where the Alchemist table is.
Yeah.
Take a left, Alchemist table is on the right, go downstairs. You'll see a lady standing in front of a billboard. She's the reputation person for Mondstadt. Every week you can do 3 bounties.
Okay.
And then you could pick up 3 missions that people were just like, hey, man, I need 3 pieces of sticks.
Oh, I've been doing that. That's the other way that I've been doing.
When you level up your reputation from that you should get the schematic for finding the Oculus in Mondstadt.
Yeah, and that was how I was trying to level up my my adventure rank. Because I thought, oh, that's how you level up your adventure rank. But I was only getting like, hey, you're getting like 200 experience from doing these things, but they're limited. So it's like, hey, these are your dailies. So like, to me, that was telling me is like, I can only get a maximum of like 800 adventure rank experience a day. It's like, okay, that's the daily grind. That's what brings people back. It's like, I hate that. That put me off of Genshin a lot. I'm like, that is way too much of a commitment grind for me.
No.
Going into these domains, I was like, this is how you grind out.
They changed it up, I believe, 3 years ago.
Okay.
They changed it up 3 years ago, which is around the tail end of doing that kind of the bounty thing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But they changed it up 3 years ago to not only increase everything gives you experience, adventure experience, opening up a treasure chest, finding an Oculus, turning it into the statue, every single quest, every single thing you can do, there should be a way to like, what's the reward? Pretty much the first thing on it should be like adventure rank points and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not only do they increase what gave you it, but they also just made sure that pretty much everything that you do should get adventure rank experience.
And like when
because they were like, if you got to level it up because a lot of the stuff is locked behind it, we want to make sure that anything that you're doing is going to move that needle up. Some more than others, but everything will move it up.
Yeah. So the way that I was doing it before, which was the completely wrong way I'm seeing now, was do my dailies, do my weeklies, and get the maybe 1,200 experience. Like, great, that's a decent chunk of experience. But when I need 10,000 experience to increase my rank by 1, it's like, this is a slow, aggravating grind.
Oh, yeah.
Because the only other way that I can get adventuring experience that I found was finding new statues, which is which I've found all the statues in Mondstadt. So it's like, there's nothing else for me to find here. So I thought I had depleted the experience from this area. So I have to go out into the other areas, which are stronger, which are further away from the main story. So I was like, this feels convoluted. It's like, how did people do this? I thought it was the main quest. Like, oh, your max level adventure rank because you've been playing this for 5 years every single day. And the only other way that I was finding stuff was like, oh yeah, open, because like fighting enemies just gets you character experience. It doesn't get you adventure rank experience.
I think it does.
It's a little bit. Spent the last 3 sessions fighting enemies, and like every single one of them was like, you get items and you get experience for characters, not adventure rank.
Okay, because it pops up on the left side, right? That's what you're looking at? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pops up on the left side. And it's like the only thing that I was finding that was actually getting me adventure rank experience was opening chests. But again, that was super frustrating to me because I'm like, at most these are giving me 15 experience. When I need thousands, tens of thousands, I know there's a ton of chests.
There's chests. There is the challenges, which are like the pedestals that have the icon above them. Those give you experience as well because they're all like the puzzles and stuff like that you can do inside the game. And domains, doing it for the first time, unlocking the teleporters between each area, statues of the 7.
Yeah.
Any quest that you get will usually give you an experience point for. Mondstadt is the smallest zone.
Yeah.
Leeway in comparison is like pretty much double the size of it. So by the time you can get over to Leeway, you're going to find a lot more mountains and quests and villas and all that stuff.
I despise Leeway because of how vertical the mountains are. It's like I climb so slowly.
Never think that you just need to climb manually. This isn't Breath of the Wild. Never think you have to do that. Okay. A lot of the times, and they were already kind of good at it in Leeway, but they definitely got better at it after a while. But like, always look around. There's either a gust of wind or a launcher thing or whatever. But like, Leeway is a little bit weird about it. There's usually just like hidden gusts of wind here and there or something like that. But every single region, starting with Inazuma and everything after it, it's like there's always a region-specific traversal mechanic that you never have to just vertically climb a mountain. It's stupid.
So, the reason I'm getting back into Genshin isn't
because of the punishment wheel.
Because of the punishment wheel. I have to reach adventure rank level 30, and I have to
get to Inazuma.
Get to Inazuma. I was refusing to look up anything about how to do this myself. I wanted to do the natural way of experiencing it because I'm like, that's part of the punishment. This is the grind. So I'm like, okay, adventure rank, that's pretty straightforward. I'm like, Inazuma. There's this big open map. When I open the world map, like it's a huge giant map, and I just need to go off in a direction, and eventually I'll hit Inazuma. After 5 hours, I got so frustrated because I'm like, I don't even know what Inazuma looks like. I'm looking at this world map. I don't even see what these regions are called. I got to this desert region before I was like, all right, I went out of Mondstadt. I went into the Chinese place. I went into this magical forest place, and then was popped out into this freezing hellscape mountain, which was killing me slowly. I'm like, can't go that way. Okay, I guess I won't unlock that map. Then I go out the opposite way, and I'm in the fucking like barren desert. I'm like, okay, fine, you've broken me. I go up on Google and I search Inazuma Genshin Impact, and there's all these things like stuff. I'm like, map. I look at it. I'm going in the complete wrong direction. Inazuma is islands. Way the fuck off. So now I'm thinking like,
It's Japan.
I can't walk there because there's a literal ocean. I have no idea how I would even get my character to Inazuma. So I might be asking you, how the fuck do you get to Inazuma? In fact, I am asking you, how the fuck do you get to Inazuma?
It's 2 ways.
2 ways.
3 if you know how to play the game.
Okay.
2 ways.
I'm guessing neither of those ways are walking or swimming there.
No, don't do that. You can, but don't do that. Do the main quest. Eventually, you'll get a quest where somebody's going to, because where you are in the quest, Inazuma's on lockdown. Somebody has to smuggle you in there.
Okay.
That being said, if you go to Liyue, you'll see a small pair of islands right off of Liyue Harbor.
I know
the Giyu Stone Forest or whatever it's called.
I haven't teleported to Liyue Harbor.
You'll see an anchor symbol somewhere on that island.
Okay.
That is what summons a tiny ass boat. You can use that to sail all the way over there. That is walking to Inazuma because it's going to take you a goddamn minute and a half.
I will. If it's in Inazuma Harbor and it's just ain't.
Liyue, no, it's.
I
Liyue,
will sit on that boat for 2 hours if it means getting this off my punishment wheel.
If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. If you keep doing the. It's funny that you would just have something like that, such an extensive whatever, but because Aaron also just knows that you could just get to Inazuma without having to actually do the story quest.
Yeah, but
she wants you to level up so you can play her rhythm game things that she's always loving to brag about.
And every time I log into Genshin and I stream it, because I have to stream it for the punishment, I get when Aaron pops into chat, she has a lot of useful information, and it is useful information. But then I get about 7 invites from these random accounts. I'm like, I bet every single one of these accounts are your accounts. And they only appear after she starts chatting. Never before, and eventually never after. Because I don't know anyone else on Genshin Impact.
No,
the only other person I know is Monaka, and she's not playing Genshin Impact right now because she's in school.
Yeah. I believe by default they have it set up that people can request to just join your world. The reason why they do that is because resources are limited. It takes a couple days for like resources to spawn. And normally when a new character comes out, either you're lucky and the character's materials are already in the world, so you can pre-farm it. Some characters come out and there's a new region that comes out with them, a new part of the map, and the resources are there. So normally you'll just have those people popping in, and they'll just be like, hey, because Columbina just came out. And they're like, hey, like they'll pop up. I saw one guy changed his fucking name to just so you know what he's looking for. And it was like, Columbina Mats, please. And I was like, because you're not going to know until you invite them into your world what they're looking for. But that would be my guess.
And the problem is, like, I had done that before when I very first started Genshin Impact. I was like, oh, yeah, there's someone. It's like, oh, I'll matchmake with someone. Brought them into my world, and they just fucked off away. It's like,
they're just here to get some materials. That's
it. My game ran so much worse because I was then, instead of having to just ping to the Genshin servers and having a god awful 40 millisecond time to those servers, that shot up into the triple digits. I'm like, you are making my game worse to play.
Yeah, you can just kick them out at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, go to the Giyu Stone Forest, look around for an anchor. It should be on there somewhere on one of the southern parts of one of the islands. That should be I forgot what it's called, something waypoint. You walk up to it, you activate it, and you should be able to call your wave rider or whatever the ship is called.
Okay.
It's a tiny little dinghy, and then you can aim that across the ocean on the map where you see Inazuma's at. You could drive there. You should be fine.
According to the wording of the punishment, I just have to get to Inazuma. So as long as my feet touch land, punishment done. Mm-hmm. I don't have to explore Inazuma. I don't have to do the full quest of Inazuma. I just have to land on Inazuma.
Yeah, I got you. I've never done it before that way, obviously. That should be plausible. I'm only saying that because I think I remember seeing somebody do it back in the day, but just in case you're not super surprised, it is on lockdown. The god of electricity is the one who runs it. There might be a electric storm around it, so if you do get pretty close and you see that you're getting absolutely bodied by lightning bolts, then you better hope you can hit the land before she kills you. Because once you get past that line, you're fine.
I think that would be funnier if I get 98% of the way there and then the gods smite me. And I was like, God damn it, Aaron, how do I get past this? And then Aaron says, like, oh, just log into my account. I was like, that's not the anyway.
If that becomes the point, it's a chain of islands, sort of akin to how Japan is.
Yeah, I saw it when I Googled the map. It's like, oh,
that's the main island right there.
Islands all over.
If that one tries to kill you, try to go to the one at the very end of the chain, because she doesn't have jurisdiction over there, and so the lightning shouldn't reach that far.
All right.
Just in case. But that's how you get that problem solved.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just get Oculuses. You just ride around. If you want to get the statues leveled up, each one all goes up to like level 9. Mondstadt's the fastest because it's such a small reach and has the fewest Oculuses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure there's a map somewhere on...
And you can look up the interactive map. It'll just tell you.
Yeah, the interactive map, I'm sure there's 5 of them out on that. That says like, oh, this is the Oculus. And it's like, link to your account and we can show you exactly where your missing ones are. But if there's an item in-game that would allow to find them within the game, I would prefer to do that.
When you go back to talk to that lady for the reputation thing, there should be an icon where it's like pushing the left stick or whatever. It'll be like, what is my reputation at? On that list of what is my reputation at, one of them should be like, a couple of them should be like, here's some gadgets or whatever. Check them. One of them should be the Animo Oculus Finder or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And that's how you do the thing. And it's smart enough. It's a consumable. Mm-hmm. But it has a radius around you. But thankfully, it's 2020. Games were not that stupid at freaking stuff and whatnot. If you use it and there is nothing in a 50-yard radius for you, it won't use up the charge.
Okay.
It won't be like, oh, you used up those mats to make the thing and there's nothing around. It's not 2001. They're not going to say fuck you about
Thank
that.
God.
It'll just put it on a quick cooldown and be like, yeah, use it again later. But yeah, that's how I'd recommend if you just want to just get the Inazuma.
Yeah. So that's been my time with Genshin Impact this week. The other thing that I was playing, I played a couple of demos on Steam. I obviously played a bunch of Wind Waker just now.
Yep.
That Wind Waker is a lot more interesting to me as a Zelda title than what than I think majority of what I was experiencing in Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time, there were just maybe it was fighting with the controls, maybe it wasn't having an actual controller. But I find the characters that I'm seeing, the expressiveness of the characters, a lot more interesting to me than what I in Wind Waker so far than what I saw in Ocarina of Time.
With every single Zelda game, they keep. It's so weird to say this, but this is the best analogy I have for it. With every single game, because there's like 12 games or 15 games, I can't remember. Every single time there's a Zelda game, they just take the notch that is expressiveness and weird, and they just turn it up.
Yeah. 1
notch, sometimes 2. But they never turn it back down. Because when we get around to playing like Link to the Past, you're going to see a little bit of the weirdness. Mm. It's going to be a little more reserved than it was in Ocarina of Time. And you're going to be like, wow, everybody was super expressive in Ocarina of Time compared to Link to the Past.
Yeah.
But everybody's still like that little bit of weird. But it just like every single game that came out, it just kept getting weirder and sillier. I mean,
you know
cooler.
what they're all trying to do. They're trying to get back to that weirdness that was the CDI games.
that was just peak weirdness. That is completely separate from the dialogue.
That was how
Philips
many
CDI.
drugs were you guys on? Yes.
Yes. Yes, we had all of them. But yeah, no, as you saw from our brief stint of playing the game, like, they have no problem being... They just
The fact
knew how to
that,
make Zelda
that
games.
Link gets, or Snurg in my case, gets the clothes from his grandma, and he's not having the yay, I'm getting an important item. He has just this biggest frown, like, I don't like it. It is so funny to me. And when you're like lifting up giant pots, and there's like that 2 frames of his eyes just bulging out, he's like, ugh. It's hilarious. I love it. It is so good.
He's very expressive.
Also, I would just like to say retroactively, fuck everyone that said the art style sucked. This is an amazing art style for a Zelda game. Holy shit.
It's
fuck you and wanting your gritty realism. Like, I've played a little bit of Twilight Princess. I would take 10 Wind Wakers over a gritty, super realistic Twilight Princess for Zelda.
Yeah, I love them all. They all do such a great job at it. In terms of the art style for like Wind Waker and stuff like that, people just like, oh man, I wanted this serious game. Why does it got to look all cartoony? Yeah, just as a kind of a heads up, it's still a fucking serious Zelda game.
Yeah.
Even cartoons can be serious, okay?
Yeah.
Even cartoons can be serious.
Yeah, other than Wind Waker, the 2 demos I played on Steam, one was real brief. It's definitely streamer bait. It's it's a game called Flip Up, and you're in a pinball machine, and the story is that you're just trying to get to the top of it. That's it. But instead of just a normal pinball machine, you have your flippers, and as you go up, there's always 2 flippers. And, you know, there's might be like 6 or 7 flippers, but you only have 2 buttons. And that's the button on the right and the button on the left for those flippers. Mm-hmm. As you're flipping up, you're not trying to just smack the ball and watch it bounce around things. You're trying to get it higher and higher up this tower. And there's a lot of stuff. I'll show it to you after this. There's this tower of sorts that if you mess up once, you might fall down and just lose the last 20 minutes of progress.
Okay. I think I see the picture you're trying to paint.
Yeah.
Here.
So instead of just laying the ball and timing it to just hit the flipper immediately, you're doing that thing where you're holding the flipper in the up position, and you're letting the ball sit in that crease. Then you're releasing the flipper, it falls down, and then you time it to flip it to the other side of the screen to catch it with the other flipper, and then you're just bouncing up and forth constantly.
Oh.
Then there's other points where it's a checkpoint. This is where I raged out after 30 minutes of playing it. There's this checkpoint where you have another plunger to launch the ball up, so you're flipping it up. And if you don't flip it up, if you don't use enough power on this plunger, it goes up, curves around, and then falls in this hole that puts you right back at that secondary plunger. If you use enough power, you can catch it with the other flipper. If you go full power though, and the point between enough power to clear the hole that puts it back in the your second plunger there, and enough power to get into the sweet spot is so tiny. And then the space between full sending it with the plunger and hitting that sweet spot is even smaller. It is like almost frame perfect plunger levels that you have to hit here. Because if you hit full power, it clears your flipper and it falls immediately, like fast tracks all the way back down. I was like,
wow,
I need to step away from this game. It was so it's a cool concept.
When people take concepts like that and just like they make an indie game out of it and they run with it, it's crazy. Like I want to see. This might be it, but if it's not it, I would be very much intrigued to see like the Balatro version of pinball, like as a concept.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not quite the Balatro. Have you heard of the game like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy? You're in the pot and you're trying to. It's the aggravating game of like you're climbing this weird
Oh yeah, no, whatever that
environment.
game is. Yeah.
Or have you heard of Jump King at all?
No, I've heard of the first one.
I will show you Jump King. I have Jump King. Jump King is another streamer bait, and the only thing about Jump King is you have a control to go left and right, and you have a button to jump. There is no meter to show you how long you're jumping, but the longer you hold it, the farther your guy will jump. If you hold it too long, you'll go up to full power, and he'll automatically jump. So it's not like a meter that goes up and down and you time it. No. This is just you have to, by feeling, know, oh, I need to make a small jump, so I'll hold the button down what feels like the right amount to jump. I'll show it to you, and within 5 minutes, you'll understand the process. It is a rage bait game. And someone did that with pinball, and it is absolutely amazing. I want to buy the full version and stream it. It is so good. But oh my god, when you're trying to hit the sweet spot on this plunger, and then just like last 20 minutes, sir, gone. Do it again.
Yeah, no.
Problem is, you get real good at the first little bit.
Yeah. No, I think these games that have been coming out a lot lately, and a couple of them you've obviously been showing me, I'm just like, oh, that's if I actually had some funds in order, I really should stop buying like double or AAA or AA games. I really should try these weird ass things like Mega Bonk and stuff like that, or Risk of Rain and stuff like that, because like a lot of these things are pretty good to play.
So if you like games like Mega Bonk or more like Vampire Survivors, and you also like mechs like Gundam, and you like old ass PS1 graphics, I've got the game for you. It's called Vital Shell. It's the other demo I was playing. It is legitimately just, you're a mech, you're on this square tablet looking thing, and the angels from Neon Genesis Evangelion are going to fight you. But they're fighting you in waves. So it's these stone mask mechs that are just marching towards you. It is a auto shooter, so all you're doing is moving around. You might hit a button to be like, oh yeah, use my super weapon. And it is exactly that. I got to the very end. I got to the final boss in this demo, and it was, oh yeah, this final boss, it is just another mech. It is just another one of you. Fight.
Interesting.
The best one wins. I got him down to within 300 health. Out of like 24,000 health.
Okay.
But each of my attacks does about 200 to 800 points of damage.
Okay, so like one more hit.
Within 1 or 2 hits away, and he kills me. I'm like, God damn it! But I had been fighting the guy for like 20 minutes. It was like it was a fierce battle. I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. To give you more context, the entire level up to that point was 20 minutes. So I spent just as much time getting up to him as I had just fighting him. It was great. And then at the end, it was like, hey, congratulations, you died. It's one of those things like, congrats, you died. Here are things to permanently make yourself more powerful. And by the way, while you make yourself more powerful, it's unlocking more things to make you easier, but you're also making everything else more powerful.
Yeah, no.
So I was like, oh my god, it's so much of a delight.
Yeah. Now that reminds me of now the struggle when you play games. It's like really hitting that sweet spot of how fun is to struggle, or how much bullshit it is to struggle.
Yeah.
I know you don't play a whole lot of Fire Emblem games, but your story reminded me of this one situation where in some of the newer Fire Emblem games you have a thing where it's like, let me just rewind the clock a turn, and you get X amount of charges of that before you just can't do it anymore. You have to just restart the whole thing if you want all your charges back. I remember this one time where I was going into this thing, and it was like on hard mode for whichever fight, and I was pushing through, making some ground with my troops, trying to like keep everybody alive, and I was doing just fine. But then it got to a point where I was like, all right, just like any other turn, I need to make my moves now. I need to keep pushing forward there. And every single time I try to do something, it's like, all right, if I do this and this and this, and then I do this and this and this, and then this and this and this, and then I stop my turn, the wall should hold, and I should be good. And then they find a way to puncture through it.
Yep.
People start dying, and I'm like, okay. Pause, rewind. I redo it, tried it a bit different. It was like, okay, this is where it fell, so we're going to bolster this section, move these people around. do it again. They still break through it. And I did that for like 5 or 6 adjustments. And like after a while, I was like, this entire branch is borked. What I did here, I can't salvage it.
Yeah.
I don't need to turn back a turn. I need to restart this whole map and not do this.
I didn't fuck up last turn. I fucked up 4 turns ago.
I fucked up when I started doing shit. And that wasn't all that frustrating. That was just one of those, I learned a lot today from failure. I learned a lot of new things.
I think that is a big problem with a lot of like modern games right now is it's okay to let you fail. It's okay to let you fail as long as you're able to learn something from your failure. I think that's where rage games like the Bennett Foddy stuff come into their own, is like, this is supposed to be difficult. We are not going to hold your hand, and that is the game of not holding your hand. We're going to make it so that way when you finally achieve it, it feels more of an achievement to you.
It feels more of an achievement. You learn things. A lot of those older Mario games have people learn adaptability, learning how to adapt on the fly when you're running and bouncing through stuff. No, as you were setting up things, I just saw an article on Google where it was just like games from the 90s that fucking players would like new players that are trying to play video games now when they should be the same age as these 90s kids would never be able to do. And one of the lists on that thing, when I was scrolling through it, it was just like Mega Man X. And I was like, oh, 7-year-old.
You had your Mega Man X. I had my Mega Man Zero. Both of those were just like,
you're going to get bodied.
You're going
if you
to
didn't
get
know.
It. And like,
if you didn't have the patience, if you didn't want to learn at all, you're going to die and you're never going to win.
And I'm not going to be the moron that says like, oh, all modern video games are that way. It's like, no. There are still plenty of modern video games that will excel in saying like, you failed, do better. Anything from Software basically says like
Team Cherry.
Both
games.
Yep.
Learn to get good.
As much as I don't like Silk Song, it wasn't failing. It was the process of getting back to where I was to correct my mistakes.
That's the artistic it's the artistic approach of just like, oh, do you put in an easy mode? And it's like, you can. Obviously you can, but there is so much satisfaction. Like, I was getting my ass bodied when I first started playing a Dark Souls game. The original one.
Oh yeah.
You can ask my friend. I was playing the Dark Souls remaster they put out on the Switch. You can ask my friend. I was raging. By the time I defeated Gwyn, right?
Yeah.
When I finally defeated Gwyn, my brain did that thing where it's like, dude.
Oh,
we just beat our first Dark Souls game.
I think one of the more interesting things...
I was over the moon.
I think one of the more interesting things about the first Dark Souls game is that you think... It's like, this is impossible when you're trying to get into the first couple things. You get into the gargoyle fight on top of the church, and the bell gargoyles. And it's like, this first gargoyle is like this. The first time you go into that with no one, and you have no idea because it was just that kind of game, you're like, this is fighting, this is a strong fight, this is a frustrating fight, and if you're not good, you're going to die a couple times. And then the second one comes, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? And you think it's so unfair. But when you accomplish it and you ring that first bell, you're like, fuck yeah. And you build more confidence as you're going through harder and harder boss fights, but you're getting more and more confidence as you're completing them. And then the game has so many areas where they are going to twist it on you, going down. You're so overpowered, and then you decide, let's go into the skeleton area, and it bodies you right again. And it's like, I could have gone to this area first.
You could have gone to that area first.
I could have gone to this area before the bell gargoyles. And then it's like, after the bell gargoyles, like, you either have the choice of going into the Moonlight Garden or into Seth's tower. And you're like, both of these areas, like, there's one clear one that I should go to, but the end of it is it's a weird puzzle. Seth's tower is like, this is just death. This is death around every corner, and it's amazing, but it's so good. But then it's like, you go into the one area where it's like, oh yeah, if you're not cursed, you can't hurt the enemies here because they're ghosts. Do with that what you will. You're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. No, difficulty, it's like, put it easy mode so more people will play it. It's like people are still gonna play it.
People are still
Like it's weird. I don't have a whole lot of stories I could tell you about it, but like because it was kind of holding your hand a lot of the times when you were playing a Metroid game. Freaking Metroid games back in the day when we were 7 and 10. Don't even get me started. Super Metroid was damn near impossible with my 7-year-old reflexes. It got me nightmares because I was getting bodied by monsters I couldn't even comprehend.
So just to quell a little bit of stuff, yes, you chaperone or you guided me a lot through the Metroid stuff, and during boss fights, you did say a lot of things like, "Hey, he's going to do this, you're going to do that," and that helped me quite a bit. But there were I don't think there was anything of those boss fights where it was like that wasn't something that is asinine. It was like it doesn't show you what there is. It's hard to learn that thing. You're only going to learn that after 9 attempts. There was nothing about that I got from like Samus Returns for those boss fights. They were difficult boss fights, but none of them felt to that point of you need someone telling you what's actually happening.
No, every single one of the games is just like any. It's weird to say, oh, it's like Dark Souls. It's like, no, they're just like any other game. Every single boss. I was remembering it when I was thinking about you going through any of the stuff, and I was like, I for some reason can remember the first time I fought Crocomire, the first time I fought the Plasma Beam Guardian for Metroid Fusion, and all this other stuff that bodied me absolutely. I could remember the first time I played it, and I was like, oh man, I tried this thing, it didn't work. I tried doing this thing, it was never there. What's the right way? I tried to fight Nightmare, I can't get him to stick on the thing. What the fuck is this gravity mechanic? How do I do this thing? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, I was getting absolutely annihilated every time. The first time I played any of these Metroid games, especially freaking half the bosses in any of the Prime games, because I was like, what the fuck do they want me to do here? Why isn't this working? They really want me to chip damage this guy into the thing? I was like, no. But they're all well designed enough that you would have been just fine doing it. You probably would have died like 8 times before you kind of figured it out. That's all I'm saying, is that they're all well designed enough that like I never remember a single Metroid boss that ever got me into like the double digits because I didn't figure out what they wanted me to do. If it got into double digits, it was just because they were better than me at like reflexes or anything like that. They were getting me. But no, they're all really well designed. Some of them a little less than others, but they're all well enough telegraph designed that what they want you to do. I didn't actually learn about that thing with Crocomire with the charge beam until somebody told me about that. Yeah, because he moves back with missiles. He moves back a lot with super missiles.
There was one technique that I was doing that you didn't have, that you said that you didn't even try. Was like just turn on the hyper beam. Is like just delete this. Just delete this phase.
Using the
on a lot of the stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah,
even the queen is like, oh, the queen's right here. Beam barrage. Because
I thought it was beams. I didn't think beams could penetrate stuff. But it's like, that's what the point of the beam barrage is so that it could penetrate stuff. I was like, what? Yeah. What?
But after I did it, you're like, I could see your head thing is like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
It just works. It just works. Yeah. It just works. No, but
so
difficulty in games is it's a fun balancing act. Should you put an easy mode in there? I mean, you can, but people will learn. People will learn. That's why they have testing. Like I remember seeing a couple articles after Silksong came out of people that were their beta testers and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh man, this boss is absolutely trash," and the beta tester was like, "You didn't even see the first couple iterations of this thing."
I think one of the big problems there is that you have a game that was in development for as long as Silksong was. Unless you're refreshing and getting a new pool of beta testers, which is going to lead to, you don't want to do, because you're going to have just that many more people that you have to worry, like, are they going to leak this? Can we trust them not to leak this stuff? Are they cool with that?
You just have them sign an NDA and you're fine.
If they
leak it, then bam.
People say and break NDAs all the time.
No, man, if they're ironclad, what are you talking about? It's a piece of paper.
Anyway, you have those same, and but also Team Cherry doesn't also want to have to keep hiring more and more people to test their shit. It's those same people get so good at the game just because, like, oh, I've been playing this for like the last 3 years. Of course these things that are fucking difficult they're breezing right through. He's like,
I would love to
this
see
for
what
the
their
last 3
process
years.
is for that.
Yeah.
I would love to see what their process is. Because in theory, being a guy on the outside of it, they would just have a bunch of people as long as they follow the NDA and they don't talk about it. They would just test that on a couple people for a couple of months. Once they see that they're just literally Hornet, they're like, okay, next batch of pro gamers, please. And then they throw them in that.
Yeah.
But point is I was trying to make, some of those bosses that were just absolutely ass right now were hell on earth, apparently, before they tuned them down to that. And I was like,
I always like thinking back to the guy that made Cuphead. The guys that made Cuphead.
Yeah,
Cuphead is difficult, to say the least. But you have guys that the developers from Cuphead come on and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing this stream. And they're talking as if there is the easiest thing in the world. And they're talking about these really intricate things. They're like, oh, you have to focus on the conversation. And they're playing Cuphead flawlessly in the background. And they're like, how are you doing this so well? I was like, I've played this for tens of thousands of hours. I could do this in my sleep. I could literally do this with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah. So at certain points, it's like, but that they have also been developing Cuphead for years.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is like with the beta testers for Team Cherry, unless they're constantly moving new people in because of how long it took, you're just like, even if you have like 4 groups of people doing this, like all of those groups just over time got so good at what Team Cherry was going to throw at them. They're like, oh yeah, what used to be very difficult and is very difficult for the normal gamer, there's like, I'm used to it right now.
Yep. But yeah, no, game difficulty is a interesting beast.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to think about so many older games that like I could just go back and play shit like any of the original like Mega Man 1 through 8 or whatever on the NES and be fine with it because I have the reflexes for it and all that jazz. And then other people try to play it, they're just like, "Oh my god, this thing is so ass! I can't believe how are you supposed to have the reflexes for this? How are you supposed to?" It's like, because we were pushed to accomplish things back in the day.
Because we had one game, and that was the only game we had. Literally, we had a console and 3 games, and that was the new one. And we had already put 1,000 hours into either of the other ones. So in this one, we only had dozens of hours. And so of course we're gonna get good at it.
And then once the rental video stores started being put around, it changed just being like, we have the one game this week.
Yeah.
Until the weekend happened, and then we had to choose. Do we want to run it back for one more week, or do we want to go on to the next thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was we didn't have, like, just a crap ton of games and all this other fancy, schmancy ways to make everything just super accessible. They demanded that we have reflexes and stuff like that.
But I would prefer to have things super accessible to me. I don't want to go back.
Kevin, what are you doing?
Yeah, but anyway, the only other thing that I was doing in my week was watching the new Fallout show. The
newest season, or you just started?
Season 2. I had finished season 1 a while ago, and I was looking forward to this one. I was waiting a couple weeks in because I think they're doing the weekly releases of episodes. If they're not, oh well. But I've just been. I think I'm up to I've watched through episode 3 or so. Have you seen anything of the new season of Fallout?
No, I've just seen promotional trailers here and there.
Okay. Every time I see a promotional thing, I'm like, I don't want to see it. I want to see it. When I watch it, I don't want to see it on a YouTube short right now. I don't want to see this taken out of context. The bits I've seen, I'm not going to spoil anything in case you're interested in watching it. I've seen, I like how they've done stuff post Fallout New Vegas timeline for certain factions. I'm still interested in one major faction that they're actually having a really big storyline, but I don't know exactly what they've done with the ones that were in New Vegas. And that's the Brotherhood of Steel, because you had the Brotherhood of Steel in the first season, and they were doing some stuff with that, but that always felt like that's not the New Vegas. That's not the Brotherhood of Steel chapter that was present in New Vegas. So I'm looking forward to what's going on there. And then the episode that I saw was them taking care of the Legion and the NCR, touching on those two factions. I like what they did with both of them. And they're now in New Vegas proper. Kevin, sit down.
I think she's itchy, bro.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying where they're going with it in this new season. I think they're still holding on to a lot of the magic that they were able to capture with the first season.
Hasn't fallen off yet?
Hasn't fallen off yet. I stopped at a really big cliffhanger. There was one thing that I can't talk about without spoiling the crap out of it. But it's a weird thing to spoil because they talk about one major enemy type in that game, and they're doing it in a flashback. Do you care at all about this?
No, you want to talk, you talk.
Okay.
Man. Don't worry about me.
Death Claws. You know about Death Claws?
Yep.
Do you know about Operation Anchorage?
No.
All right. So before the bombs fell, the Reds or the Chinese were fighting the Americans in the Fallout universe. And Operation Anchorage was the Americans in Anchorage, Alaska, pushing the Chinese out of Alaska because they were basically having a small-scale war against the Chinese. This is before the bombs dropped. And Operation Anchorage is this big push where they finally kicked the Reds out. They had a DLC about it in Fallout 3. Anyway, one of the characters, the ghoul, Cooper, he is a veteran from that conflict. And he's like, there's a lot of backstory that goes into that. It's like he knows the weak points on like the T-45 power armor suits because he had to wear them. He's like, they were a piece of shit then. I wonder if they fixed them now. And that was a big thing they did in the end of the season 1. Anyway, the big thing is that he gets downed in Anchorage, Alaska, and the Reds are going to kill him. And they're like, they're gloating, they're making fun of him. And then a Deathclaw comes out of nowhere. And it's like, a Deathclaw came out and just destroyed. And it's like, and that's what actually kept the Reds out. But it was a hush-hush because it was a boogeyman in the forest. But I'm thinking like, that's not how Deathclaws were created. Deathclaws are created based off of the radiation that fell from the bombs. So how do we have a Deathclaw pre-war, pre-bombs dropping? It doesn't make sense.
So it's either a retcon or...
It's a huge retcon.
Or our understanding of Deathclaws is...
Because everything...
Not correct.
The Deathclaws are like this hybrid, weird experimentation done by the Enclave after the bombs dropped. But it's like, the thing that they should have done that I feel like was a huge missed opportunity is the Chinese were using these things called Yaoguais. These giant hybrid bear things that they were deploying in Operation Anchorage. It's like, these were giant beasts that were already fearsome before the radiation. Then after the radiation, they just become these monsters. It's like, why did they not just have the Yaoguais just do this thing? It would make a lot more sense tonally for that. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm completely missing where Deathclaws originally started from. But
so... The Fallout show happens canonically then, or is it its own separate thing?
So it
sounds like it is its own separate thing, but it's still coming from a branch, like the same main trunk of the tree.
So all of the Fallout games are canon. Mm-hmm. Fallout 1, Fallout 2 happened in the same area. Fallout New Vegas happens close to the same area. Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Fallout 3 happens in D.C.
And 4 was West Virginia.
No, that's Fallout 76.
Okay.
Fallout 76 was West Virginia. Fallout 4 is Boston.
Yeah.
But Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 are California.
Oh, wow, that's way...
And Fallout New Vegas is, of course,
Vegas?
Is around Vegas. It's...
Okay.
And the TV
show is what?
The TV show is taking place about 10 to 20 years after the events of Fallout New Vegas in that same kind of general area.
Oh, okay.
So they do have to relate to something. So like they've kind of shown like, hey, the Legion after the end of Fallout, because people are saying like, well, if we're going to New Vegas, then that means that we have to address what happened at the events of New Vegas. Because in New Vegas, you had multiple endings. You could like side with this, you could side with the NCR, you could side with the Legion, you could side with the Mr. House, you could side with Yes Man. You could do all these things. So it's like, what are they going to say is canon for the show? And I just don't know yet. It's like, what is this following the canon? It can't follow the canon that Leisure's season dominated everything, but it can follow the same canon that the NCR dominated everything. Because in the show, they're like, this one guy blew up this huge settlement, just reverting everyone back to the Stone Age again. And that's actually a really big topic in the thing. But that would have happened after the events of New Vegas. So they're kind of smart in saying like all the things that we're bringing to the canon of the show, we're saying well past the events of these previous games. That way they don't have to step on anyone's toes too much.
Yeah, but even then, it's kind of cool that it's still happening in like the main timeline.
Oh yeah,
instead of just being like alternate universe, but also we're just gonna hint at the stuff that happened, like make callbacks. No, it's cool. It's in the same timeline.
No, it's real cool. So I'm still enjoying it. I'm looking forward to my next binge because I like to watch the episodes, not just one and then wait a week and then watch another one. I'm fine with that, but I was like, with this one, I was like, I know once I see one episode of Fallout, I don't want to have to wait a whole week. I just want to be able to sit down and watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time. So I'm looking forward to the next time I get to do that. But they're still holding me.
Cool. So what do you got for topics to discuss?
All right, on to the news.
Because I got a little bit of time for this, and then I got to go.
No worries. We will just go real quickly over the news that's happened. Out of Video Game Chronicles, Larry Major Nelson Herb, previously from Microsoft, he was hired onto Unity back in June of 2024. 18 months later, he has been laid off. So, yeah. They're saying that they just... I didn't really read the article that much. Just former Xbox executive Larry Major Nelson Herb has been laid off of Unity after 18 months of work. Unity, of course, is the game engine that was going to say, hey, if your game sells so much, we get to charge you a shit ton of money.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. John Riccatello was that guy.
Oh.
After he did that, they're like, you need to step down as CEO right the fuck now if we're going to save this company. And Major Nelson, or Larry Herb, was the guy that came in.
Oh, so that guy got kicked out, and then that guy came in to replace it.
Yeah, and now, just 18 months later, he's been laid off. That's unfortunate. This has been happening on the PlayStation Store, but Sony has delisted over 1,000 games from their service.
Yeah, but like that's a headline.
From
Snarf, stop.
One developer.
I was about to say, stop misleading. What is it?
These are games that if you've ever seen the game The Jumping Taco, or The Jumping Hot Dog, The Jumping Fries, The Jumping Taco Turbo, etc. All of those games from that one developer have been deleted from the storefront. It's in the thousands. This is just shovelware. The entire gameplay of these games was press X, watch this PNG, jump, and it's an easy way to just score hundreds of trophies. So they said, "Fuck that. We're just gonna move on." Good.
That guy made 1,000 of those?
Get rid of shovelware.
Just get rid of shovelware, yeah.
Yeah.
Shovelware, they got no place for this.
This isn't the first time Sony's done this. They've done it last year, again, with another company that was just using asset flips and AI gen stuff of just low effort. We're going to flood your entire storefront with hundreds of games every single week. So it's like, yeah, kick those people out. Mm-hmm. no business with them. Next news story was the one that I talked to you earlier about. Amazon Games is shutting down their MMO RPG New World. New World, beginning of last year, went through a revival because they closed it down and brought it back as New World Aeternum. And they were saying, like, oh yeah, we're going to be recommitted to the player base. We're going to rebalance some things. We're going to make it better. And they're now, Amazon Games wants to shut it down on January 31st of 2027. So we get the full year of 2026, and then it will go away. The COO of Face Punch, or the studio behind Rust, has offered to buy it. So hopefully... I've tried New World. They gave it away on PlayStation for a little bit. It's an okay MMO. I'm just not really big into MMOs myself, but it is serviceable. It's no WoW killer, but nothing ever is going to be a WoW killer now. But I mean, it has the chops to be a decent game. So, but the fact that they're just saying like, hey, we don't like where this game's going, and even though we have a good core central player base that does like this game, we're going to kill it anyway, even though you paid for this game, even though you poured hundreds, if not thousands of dollars into this game yourself. All that is just going to get wiped and deleted. So hopefully Alistair McFarlane can purchase it.
It's definitely interesting. People hang on to like MMOs for a while. My friend is one of my good friends is won't stop talking to me about playing the Lord of the Rings MMO. What was it called?
Oh my, yeah, Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah, he's like, dude, this game is like a straight vibe. Like, I like playing it because it's just interesting, and there's only like a couple thousand people that are still playing it. But he's like, it's just all of Middle Earth, and it's kind of fun to just walk around and do stuff.
If you're fine with a game that was made, that looks like it was made back in 2009, because it was, yeah, it's a straight vibe. It's also horribly MMO of 2009.
But he was loving the crap out of it, and I was like, hey, to each their own, man.
Yeah. I would love for all MMOs to still be there.
I play old games regardless of MMOs or not. I play old games that straight up are just a thing that I would have a rough time being like, oh, you should try this game out.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like taken back or scared once I got around to the point where I was like, hey, play Ocarina of Time. But like the second I fired up Ocarina of Time, I was like, because I always play the remake thing. I was like, oh man, I forgot how just like 1996 these PS1 graphics are. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I wasn't like worried you were going to be turned off, but I knew you were just going to play it because, again, I also knew it wasn't a super long game. But there's games like that are just like straight up old, and it's like, oh, this game plays like ass. I'm like, no, it plays like ass because you don't know how to control the thing. Once you get how to control the thing, like, I could do this thing in like 10 minutes. Like, you know, old games like that are just, yeah. But what's the next one?
Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from her position as president of Lucasfilms after 14 years.
After 14 years,
yeah,
a South Park joke about Cartman and being Kathleen Kennedy. Put a chick in it.
Yeah. So Kathleen Kennedy, of course, is the president that was able to launch The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, all of the sequels trilogy of Star Wars, like them or hate them.
7, 8, 9.
All the good Star Wars content that came out, all the bad content that came out after the acquisition from Disney. So she's out after 14 years. She's being replaced by Dave Filoni, so Mr. Filoni himself, and Lynn Brennan. So some pretty big names in Star Wars, but good luck to Kathleen Kennedy on her next endeavor.
Can't wait for episodes 10, 11, and 12.
I think they should stop. They should stop.
They're not going to.
Do the side stuff. Do more side stuff. It's fine. Just depart yourself 100 years. Either way. 100 years before, 100 years after.
Let's reboot the whole thing with SWOTOR, whatever the reboot is for SWOTOR.
Yes. And SWTOR is like not even like, oh, we're 100 years difference. Like, no, we're like 10,000 years difference.
Just kick it all the way down the thing.
Move well away from the Skywalkers.
Like, we're done with this.
Yes. Further in the news, Amazon is announcing a new Fallout TV show.
Oh, you're watching a Fallout TV show.
I am. This is a new one called Fallout Shelter. Do you remember
from that mobile game?
Yes, because this is a reality TV contestant show where contestants will compete.
Try to filter water.
Yes, will compete for huge cash prizes while in the vaults of the Fallout series.
I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad.
Look,
that doesn't sound like something that you would pitch at a meeting and it wouldn't go well.
Unless we are doing the experiment of there is one man in a vault with only women, and they're locked in there for the next 100 years. Do what you will. I don't want it. Unless it's the vault where it's one man is stuck in the vault by himself, and the only thing he has to entertain himself are finger puppets. I don't want it. I don't want it unless it is the vault where it's a normal ass vault until 5 years in when a panther is released. These are real vaults. Or at least real in the Fallout universe. But it's like, what the fuck? Anyway, yeah, Amazon's going to try and cash in real big on the Fallout stuff.
I mean, you might as well. I mean, Squid Games was popular.
Oh, yeah.
Could make a Fallout.
But you know what was really popular? Squid Games as a TV show. Not Squid Games as a reality Survivor-esque contest show. Because Mr. Beast tried that, and it was disastrous.
Yeah, but he can afford to be disastrous.
It's almost like if you're not allowed to kill the people, all of this stuff kind of loses any weight. Which, don't kill people. Jeff Bezos, please don't kill your contestants on Fallout. Next up
you'd be able to get away with like that. Like you know what they would do if they're going to try to do that in reality? They would just make every single contestant that tries to go on that thing like, oh, hey, if you win, you get the $15 million or whatever. If you die, we'll cut a check to your next of kin for a chunk of fucking change.
If you die, your family gets $2 million.
Just straight up, they get a fat stack of cash if you die.
Here's a briefcase of cash. It might be singles, it might be fives, it might be 20s, might be hundreds, might just be full of gold, but they'll get reimbursed in either $10,000 to $10 million.
They will be fine for a while.
Yeah. So your family may want you to win, but your family may also want you to die.
But we assure you, even if you die, they'll be taken care of. That's how they would have to do that in reality.
All right. Next up is Lego is teaming up with Nintendo again. This time to bring us Legend of Zelda to plastic model life.
Yeah.
So I think you saw this last week.
Yeah, I was telling you about it.
Telling me about this.
The model, the one they showed off was the final confrontation between Ganondorf, Link, and Zelda in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Where he showed up out of the rubble, and then he could turn into Pig Ganondorf.
I finally saw the picture of it, and this is much lower detail than the Pokemon ones that I covered last week. The Pokemon ones were like pretty giant, like we're talking multiple thousand piece.
Because they weren't just a Pokemon.
No,
you had to build freaking Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard, and all that jazz. You had to build that kind of thing. In relation to this thing, it's like the only person you're building is Ganon.
This thing looks about maybe Ganon might be maybe 10 inches tall.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's tiny in scale compared to how detailed they can go. Versus the Pikachu that you get with the Pokeballs. Like, no, that Pikachu is going to stand like a foot tall. Like it's a pretty good size. Like this is something that is not going to go on a desk. This is something that goes on a shelf or on the center of your coffee table.
Even if the size is different, like I mentioned last week when I was here, I would be frothing and begging on my knees as a 7-year-old.
Yes.
If I just played Ocarina of Time and then this showed up in the freaking short.
The big difference to me is this Zelda Lego set looks like something you would play with versus the Pokemon ones look like something you would build to display.
Yeah. No,
it's
if
like
I had-
it's like those giant Death Star or Star Destroyer Lego sets, the really big ones. Where it's like this is 20,000 pieces. Like no, you build it to display it somewhere.
Hang it up somewhere in your room.
Once you're not taking this down and having the space battle with your X-wing next to it. It's like no, it is A, way too big for that, and B, you spend way too much time on that because they have those smaller scale Star Destroyers where it's like, oh yeah, this is something that you build and it's like it might be 600 pieces and it's like but it's small enough that you can still pick up. This is what I'm getting from the Zelda one, which I think is appropriate for the Zelda. I think Zelda's a lot
because kids are gonna be like, yeah, Master Sword, let's go, yeah.
This is something that I could be like, hey, my older nieces and nephews, like, yeah, I build this with them, and then they'll play with it.
And
It's
then
great.
they could fight the Demon
Versus like
King.
the Pokemon ones, I'm like,
They're gonna try to play with it and they're gonna break it.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw that thing and I was just like, oh man, it's cool that it's Ganon. It's cool to fight against Ganon. It's really cool. I would be playing with that thing all the damn day long. I can't wait for them to, like, if they're going to keep going along this line, just like they did with the Sonic stuff and the Mario stuff. It's like, man, I can't wait to see what other things. Next, we're going to see the windmill, so we can get the Song of Storm section, or the graveyard, or freaking the water temple. Woo! Imagine having that thing.
I would imagine that this is probably going to be the one, if not only one from Ocarina of Time. I think the next one, they'll probably pick something from maybe Majora's Mask, but I think they would probably pick something out of like Twilight Princess, Wind Waker. They choose a different Zelda property and build a set out of that.
If I had to pick a thing as a Zelda fan, if they're going to be like, hey yo, Majora's Mask, I'm like, make it, first off,
You're building the moon.
Make it yeah, fucking whatever, the fucking moon. It's just a big sphere. That's so boring. We got like 18 Death Stars. No, give me Clock Town.
Okay.
That would be so fucking cool to have Clock Town.
Yeah.
Even if it's going to be like, oh, it has the same amount of pieces as a fucking Death Star. I don't care. Because me and my buddy, one of my oldest friends, back when we played Majora's Mask, we made Clock Town out of shit.
Yeah.
Because my mom had a rock collection. We had a bunch of cats, so we had a bunch of cat towers and stuff like that. We picked stuff around the house. We had figurines. We made Clock Town. And because of how our house was set up, there was like, the TV for people to watch and stuff like that. But they didn't want us to be like playing video games in our rooms all by ourselves. So we were like 7 or whatever. So we had a TV just set up in the corner that we could play on. Nobody was watching the TV. We put all this stuff out to build Clock Town, whatever. And I would turn on the N64 and have Link just stand in the middle of Clock Town. So the Clock Town song would keep playing for us. It's called having imagination, kiddos. I would love Clock Town. They might go the moon, but like I'd rather just like Clock Town. Even if it's just like one of the 4 districts, Clock Town would be cooler, in my opinion. If they were going to do Majora's Mask. But there's great scenes in every single Zelda game.
So
they might just keep going boss fights. Actually, if that's the trend.
I imagine that's probably easier.
They
thing
just pick
for,
a boss from every 3D Zelda game or whatever.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Nintendo's still in the news with them deleting people's Animal Crossing New Horizon islands because of risque and adult-only themes.
I'm sure.
These islands have been online for 5 years. And people are speculating that the only reason they are deleting them because they're adding their own resort hotels down on the pier and other things later this year in Animal Crossing New Horizons 3.0 update.
Oh, they're going to have a new update?
They're having a new update. Okay. And with it comes resorts and hotels. And they don't want the first thing that people Google when they do Animal Crossing Resort is this adult only, and it was adult themed in like they have the Statue of David with strategically placed shrubbery to accentuate certain appendages. Like, okay, guys, get the fuck over yourself.
Yeah,
it's Animal Crossing.
It's the furry community for you. What can you say?
And to round out Nintendo in the news, an armed gunman steals over $100,000 of Pokemon card merchandise in Manhattan at gunpoint.
And then they caught him immediately because why not?
I should look into this. based off from IGN. Speaking to ABC News, staff at the Pokecore Outlet and Meatpacking Districts have said that over 100,000 worth of stock was stolen in just 3 minutes as a team of 3 robbers burst into a newly opened store during its first community evening event. They smashed glass display cases, stole cards, and ran off. They are still at large.
Okay.
So,
yeah, no.
I read that as like 100,000. Like, so they stole 10 cards based on how your pricing is at some of these stores.
You guys know it's just paper, right?
Yeah, it's
baseball cards.
It's
are just
terrible
paper,
that it
right?
happened, but it's also just like
People are crazy, man.
how big. This is a scam. This is a hustle. Like, it's Pokemon cards. Like, there's no way that my friend from fucking middle school's binder is actually worth something now. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's it just goes to show the epidemic of people being stressed about money in this fucking place.
Yeah.
Like, the more you keep telling me about how scalpers keep scooping up this or scooping up that and selling this and that for exorbitant prices, I'm like, we had scalpers back in my day.
Oh yeah.
They were nowhere near this much of a fucking problem.
This, I will tell you the road off air so I don't dox where I am right now. But I was driving down the road the other day and I saw not one, but 2 Pokemon card shops opening within a quarter mile of each other. Like, these are brand new locations. I'm like, how the fuck is this that well that you are opening up brick and mortar stores? But apparently it's enough. There you have armed gunmen stealing 100. Like, how are they going to offload this stuff? By the way, it's Pokemon cards covered in glass.
Well, I mean, you just wipe off the glass, put it in a new sleeve. It's not like all of them got like UPC numbers on them or anything like that.
I don't know. It's these Pokemon card people are fucking insane. Like, they'll have,
and then you sell it to a third-party person, and then the third-party person scrubs the UPC, cleans it up, refurbishes it. Not that I would know. They'll figure out a way to offload it. It's just crazy that people are just like, this is what I'm doing because I need that money to pay. I need to pay those bills or feed my family or get that Lamborghini because I can't do it normally from doing anything else because it's just how the society is right now. It just sucks.
Yeah.
That's why I never really got bought into the whole thing because, like, I've seen plenty of my mutuals and friends and stuff like that are just like, over the last like 5 or 10 years, like, oh yeah, I mean, like, I think just recently for like Christmas or the Christmas before that, it's like, oh yeah, I bought my friend, my buddy, like 6 packs of like Pokemon cards or whatever, so we could open them up like, stocking stuffers kind of thing. And I was like,
I don't mind that if they're stocking stuffers and it's like, oh yeah, 1 or 2, but it's like if they're playing the game, like I bought some friends like,
no, but like
Magic
they're not
the Gathering
playing the
booster
game.
pack. Yeah, but for collecting, it's like, no, they want the case box, which is like $300 of cards of just the booster packs, and they're just gonna sit there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Oh, this one's worth 2 cents. Oh, this one's worth 5 cents. Oh, this, like, so this $15 pack, I got profit 30 cents. It's like, that's not profit.
No, it's
like, but I might get the card that is worth like $200.
That's the point I'm trying to make, where it's like, I remember when Pokemon cards is like, you play Pokemon cards because you like playing the Pokemon trading card game. Now it's like, oh, I got these stocking stuffers for my friend. I'm like, man, all you did was trade those lotto tickets in for a pack of Pokemon cards.
It's just,
like,
it's different. It's a different way of
It's just
gambling.
a lotto ticket now.
It's just gambling.
Instead of actually being about the trading card game.
Yeah.
It's not about the trading card game anymore. You're just gambling. Mm-hmm. It's not putting, not to sound like that weird of a guy, but it's like, you're not putting enough respect on Intelligent Systems or whoever is the Pokemon company and or Nintendo. You're just gambling.
Yeah.
Whereas they made those things so that people could enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And the characters.
Honestly,
but you're not doing that. You're just gambling.
Whenever,
so you might as well just go and gamble.
Whenever someone reminds me, it's like, no, there are still people that play the Pokemon card game as the card game. I'm just confused. I'm like, you mean this isn't just a giant weird scam or pyramid scheme of people saying like, well, if this card has to be worth this much, because if it is, then I'm a millionaire. I was like, oh, wait, people actually have Pokemon battles. Like, there's still, the card game is still being played like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh, That is so weird to me because the only news I hear about Pokemon cards is I cracked this pack and I got the Charizard from first edition and it's worth $2,000.
Yeah. It's like, again, it goes back to it's just people just really need money because we can't get money in society as easily as we could back in the day. Everything's just too damn expensive.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid enough. All right, what's next?
Ads are coming to your Xbox cloud gaming service.
I think I remember hearing about
some
this.
people have been stating that ad-supported playtime is a message that is popping up when they launch games. So it is being speculated that within the next couple months or so, Microsoft will just formally announce that a cheaper alternative to your cloud streaming service will be supported by ads.
Yes.
Because I really want to play a game and then I'm just thinking, it's like the best case scenario is watch 5 minutes of ads before 30 minutes of gaming. Or it's going to be, I'm just thinking is like you put this into a multiplayer game and then your time just is like you're 1 minute away. Like you're playing like Call of Duty or Battlefield. You're 1 minute away from the match ending. And it's just like, please wait while your ad experience loads and you're dying. Like it takes over your entire screen.
Once that happens, whether it's any measure of examples you could possibly spew out of our face holes right now about it, it's going to be absolutely fucking funny when it happens. And they're like, oh, yeah, this works. Guys, shareholders, check it out. We're getting people engaged in this thing. And it's like, you guys stop making games.
I can't wait until the streamer is streaming a game with the ad-supported thing. And then I'm just waiting for the moments, the gold moments, where they're in the middle of like this really important cut. Imagine you're in the middle of a really important cutscene in like Zelda or Metroid. Then it just, hell, let's say everyone's favorite game to stream, The Last of Us. You're in the middle of like Joel saving Ellie from the hospital. And then all of a sudden, Domino's ad pops up. You're like, God damn it!
And not just the Domino's ad. It's the same Domino's ad that you've already seen 17 times today because you're trying to watch YouTube or anything else. And it's just the same thing over and over again. I've gotten to the point, where I'm actually just considering getting YouTube Premium because I'm sick and tired of these ads that are never targeted towards me.
I was that way back in 2018.
And like to repeat themselves 87 times a day because I just watch that much YouTube apparently. But I've just gotten, I have one of those keyboards where it's like I've just gotten to the point where, I know it's just going to be an ad that I've already seen before. But like the second it just goes, all right, we're done doing this thing, here's an ad, I'm just like, mute.
Yep.
And then I count to 8, open my eyes, hit skip ad.
Skip ad. Yeah.
But I'm always just like, mute. Because I'm like, I am a person who remembers something that gets repeated multiple times to them. I have to I have to manually go into my brain to surgically remove ad catchphrases that the fucking ads keep trying to brainwash me into my fucking brain.
I would not suggest it to a lot of people, but for someone like me, and it sounds like someone like you that watches a lot of YouTube, because YouTube is my main source of just entertainment and watching things. The $15 a month is the best money I spend on YouTube because I'm like, if I wasn't spending this $15 a month, I would be watching hundreds of dollars worth of ads. They're just by volume. I'm like, I don't want that. No, it's honestly, stupid. YouTube Premium does bring some nice things to that. Of like, oh yeah, I get access to the music. So I used to subscribe to Spotify. I was like, well, if I am subscribed to Amazon and I'm subscribed to YouTube, I'm never going to use Amazon's music services because it fucking sucks. But like, YouTube has a better library than Spotify because they pull in just the random videos on their primary service, not just the ones tagged music. So I'm like, I can listen to literally anything on YouTube Music, so I don't need Spotify. I have Netflix just because there were a couple shows on Netflix, but I'm like, the $25 that Netflix requires a month sucks compared to what I get off of YouTube for $15 a month, ad free.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about hopping off of Spotify too because I keep getting a lot of issues with my playlist and whatnot. I went with Spotify because I usually just had an iPod, and I love iTunes. It worked out just fine. I figured out how to use it after using it for like 15 years, about how to set up playlists and all that jazz. iPod works out, and I like having the manual thing for listening and stuff like that. Pass me the aux cord. But then when I accidentally washed my iPod in the washing machine ages ago, didn't feel like spending another $300 or $600 to get another iPod. They were like, oh, you can listen to your because I still had all my music on my computer.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you can go to Spotify, and then you can just pay the premium, and then you can upload all your shows and make your own playlist, which has been fine. Running into a really serious problem as of the last couple of months. No matter how many times I clear the cache or update the whatever, it's like, I'm like, I got everything sorted from my giant thing into this playlist that I have everything in there, and I'm like, randomize the whole thing.
Yeah.
Play whatever. And I'll go through that. And then I'll stop listening to it. And because I'm working, I'm like, can't listen to my thing right now. I just got to focus. And I'll come back. And it'll pick up on the exact song that it was at. But then it'll be like, the next song is where you started earlier on the playlist. And I'm like, and it's like, oh, it's because Spotify is having trouble remembering
you
where
lost
it was
connection
at.
to our server, so we had to reinitiate, and that sees it as a new.
Your app was put to sleep for like 2 seconds, whatever. And I was like, okay, I go into settings. I tell my phone, I was like, this thing is whitelisted. Never turned it off.
Yeah. And
then it does it.
Can I just piggyback onto that? I fucking hate on all smart devices when you're listening to a podcast, it has a little progress bar going across the screen. Maybe this is just on Apple. Maybe it's fixed on Android or whatever. But you have a progress bar going across your screen that shows where you are in that episode. I bump that so many times, and it will move. You can drag from a locked phone. You can put your finger on the progress bar and scrub through the entire thing. So listening to music is not so bad because, like, fine, it's a 3-minute song. I'll listen to it again, or I don't care. Just move on to the next song. But when you're listening to a 2-hour podcast and you're listening in like 30 minutes, you're around the 30-minute mark, unless you knew where you are when you pulled the phone out of your pocket and then all of a sudden it skips to 10 minutes away from the end, you're like, it is the most frustrating thing ever.
Yeah.
That feature should be, like, unless your phone is unlocked, and I mean not on the, I'm saying I'm in the app, remove the scrubbing feature. I don't mind having an indication like, oh, I can look at my phone and be like, oh, I'm about 3/4 of the way through this episode, or I'm like halfway or something. Like, fine, that's nice to have. But don't scrub on a locked phone screen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's with the service or whatever, but Spotify, whenever I'm listening to music or whatever, and it's locked, if I unlock the phone or whatever, it'll just be down at the very bottom, and it won't have the progress bar. It'll be like pause, back up, forward. If I click on the thing, that's when it'll pull it up when it's locked, and that's when I can scrub it. But by default, it shouldn't be doing what you were saying.
Maybe it's an Apple thing, because I had it when I was listening to podcasts on Spotify. I was using Spotify podcasts. I've had it with YouTube podcasts. I've had it with just iTunes podcasts. Every single one of them on my iPhone. I'm now reaching in and just grabbing the very sides of my phone. I'm like, I don't know if I'm touching the back of my phone or the front of my phone. If I'm touching the front of my phone, I'm going to lose my spot on this podcast. I'm like, it's so goddamn frustrating.
That's absolutely weird.
Yeah.
But since you use it anyway, can you upload your own music to
I haven't
YouTube,
done
to
YouTube music too much. I
think somebody was telling me when I was talking online, because I told them about the same kind of grievances. Like, oh no, you should be fine. I was like, if I can have my music, which I've spent the last 20 years gathering from various places on the internet for video game music, if I could put my shit in there and make my own thing, and not have to deal with ads whenever I'm on YouTube, I'll switch to YouTube then. Because, like, Spotify, like, just yesterday at work, I wasn't listening to a whole lot, but I listened to it driving to work. I listened to it on my break at work for a little bit. And then when I was trying to drive home for work, that is 3 separate times I had to pull it up. And it reset to the same fucking spot 3 goddamn times. Once it's like the 3rd or 4th time that happens in a single day, I am You saw me fuming when I'm playing a video game. I get that about a fucking music app.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Ex-Assassin's Creed boss Mark Alexis Cote is suing former employer Ubisoft for 1.3 million Canadian for lost severance pay and damages. He's saying that his dismissal was not due to poor performance, but to avoid severance pay to him. That's a good reason to sue.
Sometimes it happens, yeah.
That's a good reason to sue.
I mean, those people that are part of the Subnautica 2 thing, they're doing it for a similar kind of reason. They should.
Yeah.
CEOs can just be fucking, or companies can just be dicks just for their own selfish gain.
And speaking about shitty CEOs, the CEO of Razer is convinced that AI art is cool and is legit and not total slop. And that while there is a bunch of slop, that it can still make art. We promise. And that gamers will eventually come around as long as they take the stick out of their ass. And they just agree that AI... Fuck AI art. Fuck AI art. It's so... Just fuck it all together.
No, it's just it shouldn't be used for generating something creative, because creativity can only come from somebody who tries.
If you can say that, oh, I'm making a creative thing by pressing one button and, oh, look at these 10,000 images I just made, that's no longer creative.
And like, if somebody says that, I would unironically look at it and be like, you're a basic ass fucking bitch.
Yeah.
If you think this is being creative.
It's like, if you think that's creative, wait until I show you this box of Cheerios that I spilled. Look at all those Cheerios. They're all so unique. They're so creative. That would be more creative than what I find AI art doing. Spill a box of Cheerios. Hell, make it interesting. Spill a box of Frosted Flakes. Get some shapes in there. Marathon's release date, Bungie's game Marathon, was leaked on the Microsoft Store and was later just confirmed by Bungie just putting it out on storefronts. Like, yeah, our game's releasing March 5th. Fuckers, get over it. So, yeah, Marathon is releasing March 5th. That's going to be an interesting time.
I can't wait to see this show.
There are very few games that I'm actually interested in playing this year right now. Right now, that is Karen, which releases end of this month. That is our rock climbing game.
Yep. Romeo is a dead man.
Romeo is a dead man. I'm waiting. I'm not as excited. The next excited one that I'm looking forward to.
You are waiting for people to talk about it, which means you are excited. You just don't want to jump in on it.
I want to see the opinion of it first and see where it falls on Suda's landscape.
But you want to see it, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be excited about it.
I want to know,
so you are excited.
Is this a No More Heroes 1, or is this a Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes game? Where's that quality lie? That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. Or is it... Anyway, and last, the next game that I'm excited about is going to be Avowed, with that being released to the PlayStation 5. Avowed.
That really terrible Blizzard Activision game?
No.
What the fuck game are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Obsidian game.
Oh, yeah.
Came out around this time last year for Xbox.
No, was it that RPG game?
Set in the Pillars of Eternity thing? People were saying it's Obsidian's take on Elder Scrolls, but it wasn't that. But it still looks interesting.
But it's published by Activision?
No.
What am I thinking
published.
of then?
I don't know what you're thinking of. It's published.
Because I was like, that game came out like
the game I'm thinking about like
last year.
It's
Yeah,
Microsoft Game Studios, with the developer of
terrible.
I tried it
I
on.
mean, Microsoft owns Blizzard, so maybe
they now try
it could be.
I tried it on Game Pass.
Terrible.
I tried it on Game Pass, or Avowed, and I really liked. I don't know what game you're talking about.
Let me look. Let me just Google it up real quick. If this logo for this thing is what I think it is, then I'll be like, yeah, no, good fucking
Fungus
luck.
People.
Avowed. Oh yeah, good fucking luck. That game is.
I tried it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, this is exactly the game that I was thinking of, and I've seen a lot of people play it, and I'm just like, it does not look good.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Good luck, then.
It had such a refreshing take on that kind of combat. I fucking love Obsidian. I'm not Obsidian. I love Oblivion. I love Skyrim. But it was like, I need to mod these games now. Avowed made an interesting way to develop into a new magic system for combat that made a lot more intriguing gameplay compared to what I got with Elder Scrolls games. So
hopefully they fixed a lot of the bugs, because it definitely was not running
It's a game
properly.
of the year thing. You're getting new. I'm saying like you're getting new races on it. You're getting a whole new weapon type. Like I like the thing in Avowed is like, oh hey, you want to cast a really big spell? You equip a spell book. Oh, you want to cast a really quick spell? You equip a wand. And guess what? You have two hands, motherfucker. So you can have a sword in one hand and a wand in the other. And then you can just, or you can do dual wield pistols. You can dual wield swords. You can have this big ass sword. It's really cool. I enjoyed the brief time I had. So I'm looking forward to it on PlayStation.
Obviously, you're looking forward to Resident Evil Requiem, because who wouldn't be?
That is the last news story. Resident Evil Requiem had their showcase on January 15th. How do you think about it? What did you think?
I shared my thoughts a little bit last time we were hanging out.
Not on the podcast, though.
I'm just saying words, don't mind me. I am more excited about it now.
Yes.
Now that I've seen Leon, now that I've seen more of Grace gameplay, it's like, I'm excited that Capcom is actually being ambitious enough to be like, we're putting two different kinds of Resident Evil games into one game now.
I was let down when Capcom had that thing and they fully announced, like, no, Leon's in the game.
You were disappointed?
I was disappointed because I'm like, I was really looking forward to a scary, like, we're going away from Resident Evil Village. We're going back more towards 7. Make it scary. Make it tense. I was like, oh, that's going to be really cool. And they're like, oh, Leon's back. And it's like, well, it's not going to be that kind of game. And then seeing in this gameplay reveal, I was like, no. We are still giving you all of that cool stuff with Grace. But Leon's gameplay is just go be a hatchet man to these zombies. And it's like, okay, you have me intrigued again.
Yeah. No, I am absolutely 100% on board that, again, 2 games, 1 thing. It made it sound, if I were correctly understanding from watching the trailer, that it doesn't sound like it's going to be a Grace A, Leon B thing. It's going to be you play as Grace, then you play as Leon, then you play as Grace, then you play as Leon kind of chapters thing where sometimes you're playing as Dirk.
It sounds like there is a singular story throughout the entire game, and then at certain points you'll play as Grace, at other points you'll play as Leon. That is...
And doing that in terms of a game design perspective, I think is kind of cool, because Capcom's trying to have its cake and eat it too. They want you to be scared, but then they also just want to be like, hey, there is people in this world that are not fucking afraid.
And I am hoping that the Leon sections do fair, or I hope there's a good balance between the Leon sections and the Claire section.
Yeah, no, the Grace sections. Yeah, no, I think I'm interested and very intrigued to see if they're going to be able to balance it. I'm gonna put my faith in Capcom, because they haven't been missing too hard with Resident Evil lately. Mm-hmm. They've kind of had their resurgence, even though I have not played the Ethan games. I have not, but I have watched a bit of them. I've seen people talk about them. I know people like them. It's always good. I'm excited to see this. It could absolutely just not fucking work, but hey, it's good that they're trying, because they could have just played it safe. They could have just put out another Leon game, called it a day, but they were like, they wanted to push it, and it's like, that's good. In terms of game industries, again, like we were talking about earlier with CEOs and making their things, why does this thing work? It's like, because you don't play games, you don't know what makes a game, you just think, oh, this is popular, let's do this. You don't know why it's popular, that's why when you tried to make it, it didn't work.
Yeah.
This is innovation. This is trying something different. Imagine if we had to go through Resident Evil 2 and it was like Claire A, Chris B. And Chris was fucking his way through Raccoon City. That would have been nuts.
Yeah.
That would have been legendary. But there's just like we know because like they had their stint of doing the Ethan games where it's like you're just a guy. This shit is whatever, and you're chasing after Chris or whatever, try to get your thing back, your kid. We just had a couple of Resident Evil scary games where we're being scary and walking through and trying to be whatever. And now they're just like, oh, so everybody's like, oh, now it's time for the Leon thing. And they're like, you know what? We could do this thing where we make a slow Resident Evil game and then we make an action Resident Evil game. They have the huevos to be like, this might not work, but we're going to fucking try it. Yeah. We're going to have both cakes. 2 cakes.
Yeah.
2 cakes. And I'm like, Capcom, even if it sucks, do it. People still talk about Resident Evil 6, and it sucks. Some people liked it. Some people like farming content off it. Go for it, Capcom. I'm excited for Requiem.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Requiem.
Requiem is definitely on the list of things I want to check out this year. Mm-hmm. That's it for the podcast. Thanks for joining, everybody. And
I'd like to thank my gracious host for having me over. Thank you, Snarf.
Yeah. We didn't do emails. If you have an email or request that you want to send to the podcast for me to read on air, possibly, email is snarfpod@gmail.com. Again, snarfpod@gmail.com. And, the Ko-Fi stream, link down below. Send me money. I'm trying to buy an FX30. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, play some more Genshin. I'm sure Aaron would send you plenty of money.
She hasn't sent me a dime.
Because you're not playing enough Genshin.
Apparently. Anyway, that's it. Have a good week, everybody.
Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for joining us.